Hello. Hi. Happy Tuesday to you. I hope you had a great day. It was a gorgeous day here in Tampa Bay. If you are living in Tampa Bay, you know what I mean. It's like the first hint of fall. And I understand tomorrow and the next day are going to be cool. So happy about that. Happy that we're doing this at a reasonable hour today. It's necessary because, well, we're going to talk about that. Okay. My topic is leadership, empathy, procrastination, and all things wonderful. So I brought this topic up today because I wrote Entrepreneur Magazine. Like, duh, that's important for me to remember. Hi, one viewer. How are you today? So I was blessed to be asked on Sunday, this past Sunday, to be featured in Entrepreneur Magazine. And I don't think the whole article is about me. Dr. Patty Fletcher and her colleague Heather reached out to me and asked if I would be a part of this article regarding disrupting and Wonder Woman and leadership and empathy, and it's due tomorrow. Okay, that's why I put procrastination in this title today. So, although I was only told about it on Sunday, I could have done it Sunday. I just didn't want to. Didn't want to work on Sunday. It was my one day off. I went and saw a client on Saturday, so I'm not beating myself up too much about it. But now I have to do it tonight, and that's fine. It's only 5:30. I'm totally going to bang it out, and I love to write. But it's interesting that I love to write, and sometimes it's really hard for me to sit down and write. I just wrote a 960 words for DuPont Registry of Tampa Bay. That was due on Friday. And I just did that. And it just takes a lot out of me because I really am I'm very serious about writing. And I want it to sound good. I'm serious about grammar. I think that the words that you put out there are there forever, just like these videos are, right? And I don't spend as much time thinking or critiquing myself about how this comes across, but I do spend a lot of time with the written word because I do feel like it could reach a lot of people and it can make a difference and an impact. And I just was taught as a very young lady growing up in Catholic private school that the art of writing is not to be taken lightly. So there you go. That's my little rant about procrastination. So now I'm going to do it tonight. And let's hope for the best because it really is a great honor to be asked to be featured in this great magazine. I just read the last issue of Entrepreneur Magazine on the plane to New York. So I'm a big fan of this magazine. It'll be super cool to see just my name in that magazine. So I'm very honored and grateful about that. Now, leadership, it's really big. It's a really big topic. I really believe that whoever is at the top of the organization is setting the tone for the entire company and the company culture. And there's so many different leadership styles. And my own, which is what this article will be about, is my own leadership style has drastically changed over the years. When I was working at New York Medical, I was taught a very different style of leadership. And in the beginning, I really had to go into these difficult situations between doctors and be very authoritative. And that was what we all strategized about in the operations department before we had these meetings. So today, then I moved here to Florida and ran pediatrics, and pediatrics and adult medicine was totally different. And here I walked into a company that had people working for them for 20, 30, 40, and actually somebody that was there 50 years. Well, she's there over 50 years now. It was 40 something then. And, it was just a totally different style. I was much more laid back when I got to Florida. the pressure of just New York and 11 offices and all these different specialty doctors running around, and the pressure just wasn't as great in running this pediatric office in comparison to what I did in New York. So I shifted and I became much more empathetic and much more, I think I was blown away by how if you treat people really well, they'll stay 20, 30, 40 years, you know? And there's a great quote from Richard Branson, and nobody knows this better than my husband, with me like saying quotes or a joke. I never get them right, but it was something like, you know, you teach your employees as much as you can so they'll want to stay, but you encourage them to go if they want to go. Now, that is absolutely not what the quote is, but that is absolutely the point, okay? So I embraced that type of leadership style in the pediatric practice. And I felt like if I could mentor and encourage these 33 women that I had the opportunity to work with, then I have a better chance of them sticking around. And when people love what they do, they will be your foot soldiers in your company. And it's just good to do good. It's good to be empathetic. I have such great empathy now when I walk into organizations, and sometimes I'm really, really disappointed with the leadership roles. But the truth is, they don't really have a reference, right? A lot of people go into business and they've never actually run an organization before. So now all of a sudden they are the leader and they're trying to figure out on the fly how to become a great leader. And it really is something that you learn. You could be taught, you know, one of my clients just yesterday asked if I could send her some articles about being a better boss. And I did. And, you know, because she realizes that after all of these years, that there's probably something to shifting your mindset and becoming more empathetic in your leadership role and encouraging employees and listening to what they want and listening to how they work best and encouraging them to give feedback only makes them feel validated within your company. So